police assessed that the event was contrary to the public interest and cancelled the license for the event. This was because it became subsequently clear to police that the event was part of the efforts of gay activists to promote their political agenda, which involved a foreigner. Our laws are an expression and reflection of the values of our society, and any public discourse in Singapore on such matters should be reserved for Singaporeans. Foreigners will not be allowed to interfere in our domestic political scene, whether in support of the gay cause or against it.
Mr. Speaker, 2 supplementary questions. The first is, given that the permit or license was approved and then cancelled 4 days before the event, will this affect Singapore's reputation of having a stable operating environment where there are no sudden U-turn decisions? The second supplementary question, if foreigners shouldn't interfere in local politics and local policies, many foreign experts are engaged by the government to comment and advise on local policy. Are we saying that the government is permitted to engage foreigners in policy making to the exclusion of initiatives by the civic society?
Police information, which subsequently came to it, was only, it came to it shortly before it cancelled withdrew the PEL on the 3rd of August, which is a full 4 days before the talk. So, in other words, police acted as expeditiously as it could. I think on the other question, the context is important. It's not as though that foreigners cannot make their comments or make their views known on Singapore policies and laws. In fact, they all do. But it's quite different if local activists, in the context of a situation in Singapore where we know that there's ongoing debate for some time already on a topic which is divisive, a topic which has caused 2 sides in particular to expound different points of view, whether we want to invite a foreigner to come here to speak to a Singapore audience. And from what we know, Professor Sanders, who is a known advocate for the human rights of gays and lesbians, to take a position. So we can hear his views on the air or read it online. But it's quite different to invite him here to speak to a Singapore audience at this time.
I would like to ask whether the Minister can clarify what's the nature of the additional information that led to the license being cancelled. I'm asking that because there could be a concern that the police did not fully deliberate the circumstances of the application before they granted it the first time round.
Essentially, the context of the original application was for a talk on a topic which looked innocuous enough. But subsequently to that, like I've said, police came across information available online, which they then understood the larger context, which is really it is an event as part of a 2-week stretch of events where local activists had organized several other events such as talks, exhibitions, forums, etc., which promoted the gay cause. So that's number 1. And number 2, I think they had a better understanding of the background of Professor Sanders. In particular, there was another talk which was also publicized online, which intended talk by Professor Sanders at another place, which led police to believe that Professor Sanders was likely to talk about our Section 377A, which is the criminalizing of homosexual sex. And also in terms of the background of Professor Sanders, police subsequently came to the knowledge that, in fact, he was an advocate for the criminalizing of homosexual sex, having spoken, for example, at the United Nations. So I think that's the context. It was not taken lightly. Neither was it a case where police just approved, without careful consideration. Police did approve carefully, based on the information then available.